Hello golfers, this is Maud and welcome to Yoga for Golfers, or as I would call it, yoga or mobility drills for golfers. So before we get into class today, I just want to kind of remind everybody taking this practice to kind of remember the golfer's stance or the golfer's position. This kind of explains why we want to get into the poses that we are going to today. So I just want to remind everybody, in your golfer stance, your feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart. You're hinging from your hips, you're holding on to the clubs. And as you rotate the body, on that upswing, you're really rotating through that hip. And as you exhale, using the power of the hips, there is some thoracic or some trunk rotation, drawing the arms away from the body, and where you're basically looking at where the ball is going. So in this practice, naturally we want to do some hip rotation stuff. We want to do some twisting in the thorax and the trunk area. We want to cater to our neck because as you're playing golf, you're just looking down and the direction of the ball, and that's just too biased. We want to really pay attention to our wrists because we're just holding on and gripping to the golf ball, and even like the lower back, since we're kind of in that same position, and you guys kind of know what muscles and what parts of the body get involved and get recruited as you play golf. And so we're going to try to cater to those in this practice. So I'm actually going to have everybody start in a seated position. Whether your shins are crossing or you're sitting in any way you feel comfortable. I have 2 blocks. You don't really need these, but if you have some, please feel free to grab them. But as you come here, I just want you to feel like you have landed on your practice. You've landed on your mat. And always remembering the power of the breath, because these stretches and these poses that we'll do, they won't really be effective if we don't recruit the breath. Because the breath takes the body to that place, kind of like when you're playing golf, in that sort of zone where the swing is just perfect, everything is just working. And so the same as yoga, we really want to be in that place, and the breath is so important and paramount. So sit up nice and tall. Really imagine you're building up space within each spine, within each vertebra rather. And your fingers are just light as feathers on top of the lap, and the back of the neck is soft, and you're already soft in your face. We'll take a couple of deep breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and slowly sigh it out. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and slowly sigh it out. Last time here, inhale. And exhale it out. And maybe experiment with exhaling out through the nose. Let's try it a couple more times. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the nostrils. Notice how slower that feels, which makes it easier for the body to really sort of relax and in that parasympathetic state. One last time, inhale in. Exhale it out. Beautiful. You can blink your eyes open or just keep a soft gaze right here. First thing we are going to do is we're going to interlace our fingers and just start to make these sort of rotations in the wrist. Like I said, we're going to pay attention to the wrist because as we golf, we really are gripping on something. And so now we're just going to sort of make it move in places where it normally doesn't. You can reverse the motion, and if you're not sure where it's going, that's totally cool. And then start to shake the arms, shake your wrists. So I want you to open up your left palm and bring it ahead of you, forward, and then have the fingers of your right hand help the fingers come towards your face, and you'll feel this stretch, this sensation on your forearms especially. And this is the exact opposite of what you do when you play golf, which is you grip. And this time we're spreading the palms, so just feel that opposing energy. As you exhale, drop your fingers down and really using that right hand to help kind of pull it down, and you feel a nice stretch right here. Right hand opens up like Iron Man. Using the fingers of your left hand, just pull it towards you. And then exhale, drop your fingers down. Still paying attention to the wrist. Make a loose fist with your hands and start to do these circles with your hands. Opening them up. The hope is that regardless if you play a lot of golf, maybe you play golf once a week or maybe every day, that this is something that you would do and incorporate in your day-to-day. Wrist stuff is just so important. All right, you can switch the shins if you were crossing the shins. Let's start to inhale our arms up. Watch your palms connect if your neck allows it, and just looking up. One inhale, really lifting through the muscles in the ribs, the sides, the side body. And as you exhale, interlace your fingers behind you and let them rest on your head. And then just get your thumbs to rest sort of in the back of the neck so that the neck can sort of relax and just kind of trust your hand that it's there. Open your elbows out. On your inhale, lift your chin up. Lift your heart up first. And as you exhale, slowly draw the elbows in towards each other. The spine remains long, but you just feel this gentle, soft pull in the back of the neck. So you're not really rounding your shoulders and you're not crunching. You're sort of just stretching that skin a little bit. Inhale, slowly lift the heart up. Chin lifts. Let the head rest towards the hands. Elbows poke out. Exhale, slowly round. Two more times just like that. Inhale. And then exhale, slowly curl in. Spine remains long, sitting upright. And slowly release, shake the arms and the wrist. Let's do these neck rolls, shall we? So dropping your right ear towards your right shoulder. Start to make your way down, chin to chest. Beautiful. Finding a nice rotation here in the neck and not overstretching, not being quick about it either. Just move in an even enough pace that you feel a sensation of the stretch, and then you reverse the direction. Again, you're still seated nice and tall. You're still breathing, maybe inhaling as you look up and exhaling as the chin makes its way towards the chest. Slowly come to center. Look towards your right shoulder, maybe over your right shoulder, keeping the chest facing the front without turning the body. And then inhale, center, exhale the other way. You always know which side feels tight. One more time on each side, over the right shoulder. Inhale, center, exhale to the other side. Beautiful, center. One more time for the neck. So let's drop our right ear towards the right shoulder. Let our right hand rest on the left temple and really help guide that shoulder or guide that ear towards that shoulder. Dropping this left side. And the important part is that we're not overstretching or overachieving anything. So like I said, just feel a good enough stretch that you actually feel that sensation, and there's an unraveling, there's sort of a cracking open that's happening in the tissues around that area. Beautiful. Inhale, center. Left hand on your right temple this time, dropping that left ear towards your left shoulder. And the hand is just there guiding. It's not necessarily pushing it down, just a gentle press. Beautiful, slowly release. Let's start with those thoracic twists, shall we? Or some twists in the trunk. I want us to inhale our arms up. And as you exhale, rest your left hand on your right thigh. And maybe the right hand can be on your lower back or a kickstand behind you or on a block. But inhale, make space right here and feel a length in the back of your neck. And as you exhale, opening up this right shoulder, but you're not turning your knees or your pelvis out to the side. You're keeping your pelvis pointed towards the center, but your upper body sort of wringing itself towards that right side. Stay breathing here. Inhale. Visualize the muscles release. Exhale. So good for the spine. Slowly release. This time, inhale the arms up. Find that length first, and then exhale. Right hand rests on your left thigh. Left hand can be a kickstand or on something behind you. And you know the deal. Inhaling, you want to make space, and as you exhale, like just feel that ringing. And visualize really these muscles in the back that you have to allow to rotate. And even the muscles in the belly, they're sort of organizing each other, the back and the front of the body. Last breath, golfers. And then exhale, slowly release. I want us to come into all fours. So find a nice placement of your hands right underneath the shoulders, and the fingers are spread, and the knees are underneath the hips. We're going to take an inhale here, dropping the belly, lifting the tailbone, lifting your gaze. Open up the chest and really draw your shoulder points back. Exhale slowly round the belly. Curl it in and drop your head and tuck your tailbone under. Inhale, slowly rise. Exhale, slowly round. One more time. Inhale as we sag the belly. That's called a cow pose. And then exhale. It's called a cat pose. Beautiful. One more time. So good for the spine to feel sort of neutral, tended to, mobilize. So I want you to place your left hand down on the mat, and then just keeping your spine in neutral. I want you to sort of isolate your pelvis right here. And we're just gonna tilt the pelvis up and down. So as we drop the pelvis down, this is called anteriorly tilting. So we're not including the shoulders, it's just the pelvic area. And then as you exhale, slowly tuck the tailbone down. So you're definitely isolating the lower back area, your pelvic area. And as you tuck your tailbone under, feel that kind of space, that release in the lower back. The upper body is really not changing, and it's very important to pay attention to the lower back, especially on sports where you're just standing all the time. In a lot of cases, you're also walking. So just one more time, pelvic tilts, anteriorly tilting. As you tuck it, posteriorly tilting. Beautiful. Slowly lift your hips up and come into a downward facing dog. You're sort of making this A shape in your body, just pedaling the feet. Fingers are spread at least shoulder width apart. The feet are also apart at least as wide as your hips. So if you want them wider, do so. Otherwise, just pedal the feet. One leg at a time. Keeping the spine long, even if that means you have to bend your legs. Beautiful. One more pedal each side. And then slowly walk your hands towards your feet. Ragdoll your way up. Beautiful. Come to your center. So I want us to separate our feet apart, but not as narrow as the hips, but also not a super wide-legged stance, but just somewhere in the middle, kind of like that golf stance. I just want to soften our knees and just swivel the body left and right. And then I want us to dangle our arms and kind of feeling weightless in our arms. So letting just the thorax, the torso rotate. The neck is soft. You can even walk around a little bit in your mat. And then this time, this twist become a little bit bigger. Maybe lifting your arms up. And if you're doing this with people around you, just don't mind that. This is all part of the fun when we move our bodies, when we do yoga. It's always good to kind of revisit those like childlike movements. One more rotation each side. Beautiful. Release to center, hands on the hips. I want us to turn this left leg in. So rotating this hip in. Center, right leg, center. You kind of know the deal here. You do this a lot when you golf. but you're probably just doing this on one side. Beautiful. One more time. Left and right. Nice job. Separate the legs out a little bit. This time we're going to do a full internal rotation of that right leg and then turn the left leg out. And then just start here upright with the pelvis sort of centered towards the front of you. Left toes turned out and the right toes are turned in. Hands on your hips. Slowly bend that leg in this nice warrior stance and then inhale all the way up. As you come up, engaging those glutes. Exhale, bend that leg. Inhale right here. Exhale. Perfect. One more time. Inhale. And then exhale. Keeping this left leg open. We're going to slowly rotate this right leg towards the left leg facing the front. And then rotate it back. Planting that heel. Inhale. Exhale. Finding balance. One more time. Inhale. Feel that nice opening happening on the right hip. Really engaging that right glute. Exhale. Plant it down. Toes point forward. Wiggle, wiggle the hips. This time left toes turn in. The right toes turn out. Maybe finding that heel to arch alignment. Again, without poking the hips to the side, just stay here centered, hands on the hips. Really turning this left hip in and then bending deep in that right leg. Keeping the torso upright. Inhale right here, squeeze those glutes. Yeah, exhale, slowly bend. Inhale. Exhale. This is where the mobility comes in. Inhale. And then exhale. Beautiful. Keep the right leg bent. Slowly turn the left leg in, that left thigh, left hip point, and then exhale, slowly land. Whew, I needed to find my balance there. Inhale as you swivel towards your right side. Hands on the hips, keep the chest upright. Exhale. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, rotating that hip in, feeling this nice opening in the hip. It's really recruiting that left glute. Exhale here. And then slowly come up. Point your toes out and your heels in. And finding this nice goddess pose. Whether you're a woman or not, doesn't matter. Goddess pose is when, you know, you kind of have this straddle shape. And you're just rotating that hip a little bit. Sort of letting the knees sort of guide the way. And then go in the other direction. Beautiful. Slowly come to center. I want us to get our feet like hip width apart. Find this nice hinge in the hips, which you guys know because you guys golf. But I want us to release our arms down one at a time. So like a helicopter. Inhale, open the arms. And as you exhale, send your left arm down, send your right arm. And you're just swinging, 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 swinging. Now the pelvis doesn't move. You don't sway the body. You keep it where it is, toes point forward, and just swing. Swing, feeling a nice release here in your thorax, your trunk, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, you guys. Shake the arms. We're gonna make our way seated. Settling the body. And then plant your right hand down. Inhale your left arm up. And then exhale, slowly reach onto your right side, bending that right arm, pinning the left hip down. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale one more time. Just finding this nice lengthening really happening on the sides of the ribs. Reaching all the way to the other side. Plant your left hand down. Inhale. And then slowly release. Do a couple of shoulder rolls here. Up, back and down. One last time. And then slowly come to center. Just have a few moments here to close the eyes and finding the breath. Thank you so much for taking this class. I hope you enjoyed it. Press your hands to heart center. I hope you share a word of gratitude with yourself for taking care of yourself through this yoga class, and I hope you have a good golf season. Namaste. Thank you. Bye for now.